We are here at Motor Miami just before the Miami RM Sotheby's auction. The last 60 days of the car market have been nuts, thanks to some auctions, some off-market transactions, but generally speaking, everybody's cars, it seems, at least of the vintage that we tend to enjoy, are moving in the right direction. And so that made me think, we've appraised your car collection twice, but I think it's worth more now. And I think we need to evaluate so that when you go out into the world and say, I have a blank car collection, as I know you do on all the dating profiles, that you'll be able to say it is whatever it is. And so we're going to use the highest possible comps to go through all of your significant cars and decide how much the car collection would be worth if it were perfect.
So let me get this straight. So the last two videos you've done on this, you have given me the least charitable offers, and now you just decide to be the most charitable that you can be. I do like this. I am enjoying this. So if any banks are watching,
that's exactly
these
right.
are exactly the prices. Like what you see in this video, he is a professional appraiser, and I can have that on, if you say it, if I say it on video, then that makes it true.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. So 60, 70% loan to value feels fair. You ready to cash some out?
Yeah, let's do it.
Right.
Yeah.
And this video is brought to you by AutoTempest. AutoTempest is clearly one of the biggest supporters of your channel, my channel, Car Trek, all of it. The best thing that you can do to support what we do here is by going over to AutoTempest at the link in the description below. Find your next car. They're the most powerful tool to look at what your car is really worth because they've got their price trends tool that shows how the values of these cars are evolving over time, exactly like that. At least that's the goal. But you'll know about your car by searching AutoTempest, getting all the cars in one search. AutoTempest.com.
Yeah.
So clearly the biggest winners have been the Hypercar Holy Trinity.
Yeah.
Other than maybe a Ferrari Enzo, those are the ones that are moving the fastest.
Okay.
Now when we appraised your collection of 27 cars 3 years ago, it averaged about $1.7 million.
Wow.
Now that wouldn't buy you one of any of these cars.
No, I mean, like that's back when 1.7 was a lot of money, but now we know better.
I suppose.
I'm being facetious, by the way, just in case people in the audience do not know. I
Flip
have
it out.
Yeah,
Flip
yeah,
it out.
Yeah,
That's what he thinks. He's totally lost touch.
exactly.
A year ago it was 2.7 million, which
Okay.
again still won't get you to any of the recent high comps.
No.
So let's start with the P1. Obviously
Okay.
yours is just about to turn over and drive under its own power.
Yeah, it's like right there.
It's just right,
It's
you know.
I'm just putting the pinstriping on it.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And so we had previously estimated it at $250,000, which I can agree might have been a little harsh.
I feel like that being less than half of what I actually paid for it after the flood was a little bit on the low side, considering other people bid up to $400,000 twice. So,
Wait, so you had to beat them by 175?
well, it was a buy it now, so I figured, you know, I wanted the car.
We
This
remember.
is not the point of the video.
Okay, all
we're
right.
Not, you know, we're not talking about Freddie's, you know, sound financial investments. Okay, we're talking about what these cars are worth in the best possible scenario. So McLaren P1 has been on the rise a little bit. So Hypercar Holy Trinity, what I think is kind of a travesty is the fact that the McLaren P1 is the rarest of the three. So you have the McLaren P1, the Porsche 918, and Porsche 918 Spider, and the Ferrari LaFerrari. The LaFerrari, they made about 500 plus some for the Apertas, which is the drop top version. The 918 Spiders, they made 918 of them. And then the P1, they made 375 examples. So it is the rarest, but also it is the cheapest.
At the moment. However, your scope has obviously creeped a good bit since you got that car, and so you're now talking about an entire rebody, a lot of modification, which is very, very exciting, but we haven't had a good comp until now because the Lanzante Spider version ran at Mecum, and the bid got up to $4.6 million.
So it did a no sale at $4.6 million. So they thought it was worth more than that, which is interesting to me because a P1 just by itself for the longest time was about $1 million, and then they crept up to 1.2, maybe 1.4. Now people are asking 2 point something, which is kind of crazy. But then you have the Lanzante, you know, like custom car stuff. I wonder how much they paid Lanzante to actually do that to a car.
I mean, it's got to be a 7-figure conversion on top of it. And I love that you think it's going to be just a few $100,000 to turn yours into this, you know, Delta Wing craziness. But I'm excited to see it, as is the rest of the internet. Now you also,
Yes.
of course, have a 918, which recently has come up in the world a good bit thanks to Mr. Rick Hendrick loving the color orange.
Yes.
And that car did $6,050,000.
That doesn't make any sense to me because a $6 million Porsche 918 Spider, it's a great car. Get it? Like, don't get me wrong. Great car. However, $6 million is a lot of money.
Historically, that would have come with at least 2 more 918 Spiders.
Yeah. Or, $5 million in the trunk. Like, I don't know. But, so it is the car that was sold for $6 million arguably was a bit of a bidding war just because two maybe inebriated, very rich guys got into it, and one really liked orange more than the other.
Because the other 918s at the sale did not do remotely that money.
No, they still went to like high 2s to 3s, which is in itself a crazy number because they were not originally $1 million like MSRP. I think when I got my car, it came with the original window sticker. I think it was something like $850 or $875.
That's same for the P1s generally.
Yeah. And now they're trading like a good low mileage car with the Visac pack. It's like $3 million.
Which is wild.
Yes.
But admittedly, the other two that ran were the white Salzburg livery car and the gray Weissach car. And the orange one is the one that looks most like being on fire.
Yes.
So
There you
in
go.
that regard, I mean, yours was clearly the value
It's the
choice.
same thing. I think they are starting up cars here because there's an auction, and we're sitting right next to a bunch of fire trucks. So that could either be a supercar or a fire truck.
Now, of course, you haven't publicized it heavily, but you did complete the Hypercar Holy Trinity.
I did.
And for all of the LaFerrari coupes and all the LaFerrari Apertas, there's only one that I know of made out of wood.
Yeah. So I have that one.
There.
So I mean, it's not really ordained by Ferrari officially, but we're holding out hope that it'll come with a nice letter or that doesn't have a cease and desist in it.
There we go. And I think that's fair. And so the LaFerrari Aperta at Mecum brought $11 million.
Okay, cool.
And yours is more rare than that, so I think that is the metric we ought to use.
Mine's a 1 of 1.
That's it.
It's a 1 of 1.
Another car that did extraordinary money at Mecum was the 2008 Ferrari 430 Scuderia. And yours is recently running better, I've heard.
Yes.
Yes. And theirs did $1.65 million, and it's not even a manual.
So you owned one of these cars.
Yes.
And it's a good car.
It's wonderful, and I paid $140,000 for it.
Right. It's not a 1.6. What would necessitate a 10x premium on that car?
Several decades of inflation.
Like $1.6 million seems like I'm not gonna say allegedly. I'm gonna say alleged. It sounds like money laundering. Like I don't know what other universe a Ferrari 430 scooter, it could be $1.6 million. I understand it was like the last one. The spec, in my humble opinion, was terrible.
Polarizing.
Was absolutely, it's Ronald McDonald spec all day. And dude, I don't get it. But because the 16M Spider went for 1.9.
Yeah, $300,000 more if you want the roof to come down. Still the same color combination, but hey, that's another point in your direction. Now, there have been a lot of other good movements in the Lamborghini world.
Okay.
Your manual 2008 Gallardo Spider, a wonderful, wonderful car.
Have those gone up?
They have. One just brought 155 grand on Bring a Trailer.
Okay, cool. Well, I mean, you also owned
I did,
a
yes.
flood damaged, a man after my own heart, flood damaged manual Spider 2008, right?
Before it was cool.
And those are, you knew how many they made, right?
Yeah, give or take about 300 for the U.S. And
Okay,
so
but
proper
like-
rare.
Was it you that said that they made like less than 100 or something, like in manual or something? I don't know.
That's Mercy's, which has also done well.
Mm-hmm.
Your 03 Mercy, which is really in Concours condition. It ought to be out here at Moda.
The first one maybe, not the second one. That
Well,
maybe
you know.
you know.
And I know that you sold the other one for a lot of money, but
Yes.
the market has still gone up.
Yeah, a lot of money back then is like not a lot of money right now. Yeah.
$660 on Bring a Trailer for a manual 6.2 Mercy.
Okay. So that's more than what I sold mine for, but I'm glad the market's going in that direction because I still have a Mercy, sort of.
And it's clearly worth the same.
Yeah, it's the same. I mean,
You know what
sentimental
you have.
value.
That's it.
That's everything. Every car has a story, and if the car was on fire at some point, that makes the story better.
Or somebody was shooting a harpoon at Tyrese. I mean, who could even value that?
Who has that story other than me and my V6 swapped Lamborghini Murcielago?
Don't lowball me, I know what I have.
Yep.
675 LT,
Okay.
I know it's running well. That one also got a new lovely comp in a very similar color combination to yours at 473.
So that makes me happy because the 675s, I think, are unsung heroes in that space. They're limited production. They made 500 coupes, 500 spiders, but they are really, really well-designed cars. They drive very nicely. They're fairly, like, I'm not going to say bulletproof because mine did blow up.
Very
So
much.
you do everything. So here's the thing about McLarens. You buy them, you make sure to maintain them, you do everything, you wash them with a cloth diaper, and then it rewards you by exploding.
Right.
So that's how a McLaren works. But like
It's a feature, not a bug.
yeah, it's a feature, not a bug. But no, my car, I love my car, the Frank Stephenson design. Same guy who designed the P1 and the 430 Scuderia and all this. Like, I think those cars can be really expensive if McLaren decides that they want to be like an actual company. And because if McLaren becomes, you know, like more of a Porsche or a Ferrari or that sort of tier of automaker, I think those cars are going to have like a big, you know, like resurgence.
I agree. There's a lot of good momentum there. Now, one that you've always gotten mad at me about my numbers on is your 2022 GT3. And I
Okay.
know I've hurt your feelings in the past.
Yes.
Because we had said it was about 175,000, which I maintain is generous, despite the multi-celebrity provenance of all of you YouTubers that
Yes.
have had this car, between Adam LZ, yourself, Matt Armstrong, everybody else. But you did get a recent good comp at 275
Correct.
for a yellow car with 83 miles.
So you can find those cars right now between 250 and 280. Cars with some miles and have a manual transmission. So everything, you know, my car had an accident, had quite an accident, but everything was repaired. It was given a clean bill of health. It has a clean title, by the way.
Yeah.
So and it's
No
not,
one knows it was crashed.
Well, everybody knows it was crashed, but that's fine. I mean, you can take it to any, you know, dealership or any mechanic, and they'll tell you the same thing. I mean, I've driven it for, let's say, probably 14,000 miles now.
What?
Yeah, because I got the car at 3, I think. Well, say 12,000. Now it's at 15,000.
Holy
So
cow.
yeah, I mean, I think that car is super solid. It's the best manual driving experience you can have right now. It revs to 9,000 RPM. It has an amazing engine, same basic engine as in the GT3 RS, and it's more livable. I maintain that is a monumental car for the money. And I don't know where you can find a running driving example for 175 grand, but if you do, I'll buy one.
All right, I'll find you one real quick. Supras are still going up. I
Yes.
kind of felt like that was over, I'll be honest.
No, I think Supras are just getting to the point where I think Supras are going to be like the 1967 Mustang Fastback, like the GT500 Eleanor. So remember when those were like crazy money because the Nicolas Cage, you know, Gone in 60 Seconds came out,
Right.
and everybody went crazy over that. I think once the Fast and Furious craze has kind of died down and those people start dying out, that will, you know, falter a little bit. But Supras that's the halo car. You can get them in Japan, you can get them in America. They made them, like, there's only about 11,000 examples for the USDM market and about double that for the Japanese market. But then you had the non-turbo, you had the twin turbo, you had the hard top, you have the Targa top. There's a lot to love about Supras, and if you got a clean twin turbo 6-speed example, like, that commands all the money, you know?
And we're going to have a walking through cameo by Doug Ewing, Premier Financial Services, the man who knows everything
Hello.
about appraisals.
How are you? What are we doing? How are you?
How are you?
Thanks again for dinner.
The one that you used in Car Trek 6 under the premise that it was one of 3 cars purchased for a total of $30,000, which was weak ed math back then.
How was that week at math back then?
One just sold for 140 grand on Bring a Trailer,
Yeah.
very similar to yours.
Yeah, but then there's other ones that sold for 200.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't believe it. DBS's though, we had talked in Car Trek 5, our Dream Car series, about how there hadn't been those comps that the market needed to
Yeah.
move on your Casino Royale car. We'd put it at 150, but one just brought 217.
217.
Yes.
Okay. good.
And I get that. I think it's wonderful.
I think it's a great car. They were at around a 150 for a while, went up to 175, then kind of dropped a little bit. I honestly don't care if that car goes to 20 grand or what. I don't think it will, but it just is a wonderful driving experience. The last big body V12 with a manual transmission that Aston Martin made, everything after that, like, yes, it is like sort of their own V12 with a newer DBS, but it is very derivative of the Mercedes. It has Mercedes electronics and blah, blah, blah. I think this is the quintessential Aston Martin in that era, and I think it's one of the best looking cars made in the last 25 years.
Yeah, we don't want those Mercedes Astons. We want the good old Ford Aston.
Yeah, the Ford and Volvo ones. Yeah. That's a good era.
That's it.
Yeah.
Now, your other Aston that proves to be another genius move was the Vantage,
Well,
which always transacts for exactly $35,000, right?
Exactly. Yeah. It's
Yep.
it's the same thing. Like I bought it at that price, I sold it at that price, and then I bought it at that price again. So one can only imagine that if I ever need $35,000,
You know where to find it.
Yeah.
The shrewdness abounds. Well, one just brought 71.5. Exactly. Yes.
Seems like a lot.
Just
seems like a lot. For
right
that
where
car.
they're supposed to
no,
be.
Realistically, like just think about it though, because it is if it's an early car, they are 4.3 liter, naturally aspirated, fairly high revving. I mean, it got to like 75, 7,700 RPM. And they had a dry sump. The later models, the 4.7 liters, didn't have a dry sump. It's not like as racy. It had a really nice exhaust note. Didn't have the most power in the world, but I don't think it needed it. It was a great platform, 50-50 weight distribution. you know?
Lovely car to drive.
Yeah, it's
All the
fantastic.
golden ratios anybody could ever want.
Exactly.
Well, you've been proven right once again. Now, the latest project that I think is nearing completion would be the M3, right? So you're
Yes.
05, you're doing a full CSL conversion. It's
Yeah.
a manual car now.
Yes.
All the things you could want. We'd appraised it at $11,000 last time, and one just sold a CSL at RM 207.
Why?
You have the same thing.
Why?
Exactly the same.
It's the same. I know it's the
Very
same car.
special.
You don't have to tell me
Very
that. I know
special.
that.
I know you know, but so that the rest of
200.
them.
So why is there's something
And
I'm
it's-
missing
and
here?
it wasn't purple. Your purple's always worth more, as you've told me with this ultraviolet GT3
It
100
is.
times.
It is. It's a one of two paint to sample. By the way. No. Why is a BMW M3 200 and anything thousand? Yeah.
It's all the EAG movement in the world. But
Good.
so just totaling those, I know you've got another 2 dozen cars that are also in perfect condition, but just that many.
And bowling has a
20
lot of jokes. Like I just putting that out there. You know.
But here you go. Drum roll for the grand total.
Mm-hmm.
You now, Freddie Tavarish Hernandez of YouTube fame, has a $25.4 million car collection based on recent comparables.
I feel like that's a little low. I feel like it's a little low, man. Like did you put the Ford Focus in there?
I didn't get the focus. There were not any good recent comps. You still got to manipulate that market a bit.
Yeah.
But congratulations on the enormity of your success, Freddie.
Well, cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to one of the financial guys here.
Yep.
I'm going to say, can I get the raw like video here?
Absolutely.
And I'm going to
Yep.
be like Ed Bolt. Like he knows. Like look at the way he talks. You know, he brought a Lamborghini, so he knows what he's talking about. He has a Bugatti, so like if he says it, then that must be true, and it's on the internet, so you can't take that back.
Start spending the money.
Yep.
Thank you, sir.
Dude, thank you so much. All right.
And once again, thank you to AutoTempest for supporting this video, supporting all of us. Go over to autotempest.com now at the link in the description below and find your next car.
Yeah. I can't feel my foot.
I sit like this while I sleep.